On Saturday, June 7th, on the undercard of the main event that'll feature Keyshawn Davis, the whole card headlining the DB3, that's right, Davis Brothers 3 promotion. There's going to be a good young little fighter that could be positioning himself against Keyshawn for the near future. And we're going to talk about it because this young fighter is someone to take note and pay attention to, and hopefully we'll get a chance to see something exciting that'll start the conversation about what's next. Let's talk about it a little bit further. It's no secret that this young protege that will show up on the undercard of Keyshawn Davis and Edwin De Los Santos happens to be Abdullah Mason. Abdullah Mason is one of the best young fighters to come along in the United States in quite a while, with a tremendous upside of potential. And the fact that he is taking on in the co-main Jeremiah Nakathila, a fighter who has had world title challenges and has the experience being 35 years of age now. His record 26-4 with 21 knockouts. He's been stopped twice in those 4 losses. And the opposition that he has lost to, the likes of Ray Muratalla going back to May of 2023 and Ernesto Mercado in November of 2023, both second round stoppages. But we know that Nakathila has come up from super featherweight. He's not a lifelong lightweight. And the men that he fought that stopped him were solid lightweights. Just as Abdullah Mason is a solid lightweight. So there's going to be something familiar about Mason's performance, because he's going to show a strength and a resolve that Nakathila at this stage of his career may not necessarily be campaigning for. He's looking at the age of Abdullah, who's happened to be 21. But a seasoned 21, a throwback 21. Guys like Salvador Sanchez, Meldrick Taylor were fighters that even in the youth, they had ability beyond their years. This kid will not be in a really good fight that challenges him until he faces someone who has world experience like Nakathila, and even someone else on the card when you speak of the likes of Keyshawn Davis. I am excited for Abdullah Mason because he wants to be able to challenge himself, and he wants to also prove to himself as well as the supporters of the sport of boxing that he is capable of ascending to different levels. And that's what he's going to do in this fight. He's entering this battle against Nakathila with his record of 18-0 and 16 KOs. He's 5'9" with a 74-inch reach and a southpaw. He has punching power in both hands. He is not afraid of contact. That is very important. And in his last fight against Carlos Ornelas, he was down. Excuse me, not his last fight. That was his fight against Johan Vasquez. He's had 2 fights since the Vasquez fight. Forgive me. But to correct you, against Vasquez, whom he fought in November of 2024, he was down twice in round 1, but finished Vasquez in round 2. He was never rattled. He was never thrown off of what his game plan was. And he was able to come back and be most effective. And since that small test of resolve, he has come back with 2 victories, following the Vasquez fight with a victory over Manuel James, where he scored in a 4th round stoppage, and Carlos Ornelas, that's where Ornelas was, and he stopped him in the 6th round. So what Mason has shown us is a propensity to get in there and mix it up and not allow external thoughts or whatever to affect him. So what he is experiencing is the ability to be able to face challenges, sort out what is before him, and overcome in a spontaneous manner. That is something that a lot of young fighters of today are not showing. They can show they can knock someone out, but they're not showing that They can solve problems on the spot. What we have in Mason is a throwback. His skills, his abilities are shown to be reminiscent of fighters from the past. But it's amazing because he's excited about what he's doing. He has a family structure around him, and he's a guy who, it's like he relishes this. It's hard to explain, but I know it when I see it. And there are not a lot of fighters out there like that. Now you have Kermel Moton, who's coming up. He's a talent also. But Abdullah has something that's different from him. I'm not saying he's better. I'm saying different. And my assessments are speaking on Abdullah in my observations of him presently. Nakathila is going to be in trouble because this young man knows what a fight like this is going to do for him. And he's going to be having an example made of him, Nakathila, at the end of the day. I just can't wait for what's next after this because I already know what he's going to show us against Nakathila. And if he does get a call for Keyshawn Davis, I'm telling you people, that would be something. He's that good and should be considered. He's the type of guy that runs to the smoke. There are not a lot of fighters out there. You got world-class fighters who think they're the best in the world, even in the same division, but aren't willing to do what this young man is. And his time is coming because the path is being cleared. But what do you think? This is Stormy B Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know your thoughts about Abdullah Mason taking on Jeremiah Nakathila. And do you think he's going to be successful? And how so? And what would you like to see next if he's successful? Leave comments and let's discuss further. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.